To understand this intellect, we must first unlearn what we have been taught about being smart. This is not about the numbers on an IQ test. It is not about walking into a corporate boardroom in London or New York and talking over everyone else to claim a fragile victory. Instead, it is about mental tactics that are deployed so quietly, the people around them never even realize a game is being played. Consider the first of these unseen tactics, which is the mastery of quiet, deep observation and pattern detection. While the rest of the world is busy broadcasting their opinions, this individual is silently collecting data. They do not merely look at a situation, they dissect it. Every subtle shift in a colleague's posture, a slight hesitation in a friend's voice, or the sudden drop in energy when a certain person enters the room is cataloged in their mind. They are like master watchmakers examining the tiny, invisible gears of human behavior to understand exactly what makes the clock tick. They store these countless observations like pieces of an infinite puzzle. Most people walk blindly through their social and professional lives, taking words at face value. But this quiet observer is always reading between the lines. They can sense a hidden agenda or a concealed truth long before it is spoken. It is a remarkable cognitive advantage. When a crisis eventually arrives, others are caught off guard, scrambling to make sense of the chaos. But the quiet observer is already 3 steps ahead. They have seen the trajectory of the storm for weeks. They do not use this ability to manipulate or harm, but rather to protect their peace and navigate complex environments with a grace that leaves others stunned. It is not magic, though it often appears that way to the untrained eye. It is simply the relentless, involuntary focus of a mind wired to seek absolute clarity. This profound, silent awareness shares a deep, universal connection with some of the most inspiring chapters of human endurance. Think of the staggering resilience of a nation rebuilding from the ashes of the Korean War. The miraculous transformation along the banks of the Han River was not achieved by empty boasting or loud declarations. It was built by the quiet, unbreakable spirit of everyday people. It was built by the silent sacrifices of mothers and fathers who intuitively understood the monumental task ahead, who read the emotional and physical needs of their families without a single word being spoken, and who steadily laid the foundation for a brilliant future. That same enduring, resilient, and intuitive spirit lives inside the mind we are exploring today. They carry an ancestral weight of understanding, a deeply rooted instinct to heal, to rebuild, and to look far beyond the immediate struggle toward a horizon of enduring peace. This brings us to their second remarkable tactic, which is intuitive problem-solving with real-world application. In Western corporate culture, we are often taught to solve problems sequentially. We draw flowcharts, we follow rigid historical precedents, and we hold endless meetings. But this unique mind takes a completely different path. When faced with a roadblock, they retreat inward. They consult a vast internal library of emotional experiences, observed patterns, and logical deductions. Their intuition acts as an incredibly advanced simulator, running through countless potential outcomes in the blink of an eye. The solutions they emerge with often seem unorthodox at first. They are answers that nobody else considered, simply because nobody else was viewing the problem from both a deeply human and a highly logical altitude. They do not just invent theories that sound good on paper. They engineer solutions that actually heal the fracture. What makes their problem-solving so impossible to compete with is that it is fundamentally rooted in empathy. They do not just ask if a solution is efficient. They ask how it will impact the human heart. Will this decision destroy trust within the team? Will this bring long-term peace, or will it just plant the seeds for a future conflict? By factoring in the emotional weight of a decision, their solutions are extraordinarily robust. They are the ones you turn to when the manual fails, when the standard procedure breaks down, and when the air is thick with panic. While everyone else is raising their voices in fear, they provide a calm, grounded answer that instantly restores balance. They never brag about the fires they have put out. You will never see them parading their achievements for applause. But the people fortunate enough to be in their circle know exactly who holds the compass when the ship is lost at sea. Their third defining tactic is the creation of empathic connections that naturally evolve into unbreakable influence. Influence, in the modern era, is usually a crude tool. It is often bought with money, forced by authority, or manufactured through superficial charm. But this mind understands that true influence can only be built on a foundation of absolute emotional safety. When they engage with someone, they do not just wait for their turn to speak. They offer a profound, silent presence that acts as a safe harbor. They can feel the unspoken grief, the hidden anxiety, or the quiet hope of the person sitting across from them. This level of authentic understanding is so rare in our fast-paced world that it completely disarms people. Walls that took years to build simply melt away in the presence of someone who genuinely sees the soul behind the social mask. Because people feel deeply understood, they naturally open up. They share their true motives, their fears, and their dreams. This grants the quiet observer an incredible psychological advantage, though they never use it for exploitation. They hold these confessions as sacred trusts. However, this empathic radar also serves as an impenetrable shield. If someone approaches them with a fake smile and a hidden agenda, their internal alarm sounds immediately. They can feel the dissonance between what a person is saying and what their energy is projecting. They will not necessarily confront the liar and create a dramatic scene. Instead, they will calmly and quietly adjust the boundaries. They will simply step back, letting the manipulator exhaust themselves against an invisible wall. You cannot manipulate a person who can read your intentions before you have even fully formulated them. This empathic intelligence makes them an immovable object against toxic influences. The fourth tactic that sets them apart is their seamless integration of creative and logical thinking. Humanity loves to divide the brain into two opposing camps. You are either the dreaming artist lost in the clouds, or the cold, calculating engineer bound to the earth. But this rare intellect refuses to choose. They dual-wield logic and creativity with breathtaking fluidity. One moment, they are visualizing a completely original, beautifully abstract concept for a new project or a new way of life. The very next moment, they are drafting a meticulous, step-by-step logistical blueprint to drag that vision down from the heavens and build it into reality. This ability to dream like a poet but plan like an architect makes their intelligence incredibly comprehensive. It means they can speak the language of the passionate dreamer and seamlessly translate it for the pragmatic executive. This rare cognitive duality is vital because it ensures their ideas are never just empty fantasies. When they present a solution, it carries a weight that cannot be easily dismissed. They have already interrogated their own idea from every possible angle. They have stress-tested the logic, and they have nurtured the creative soul of the project. If you try to dismantle their argument with cold facts, they will answer with airtight reasoning. If you try to attack it by questioning its human value, they will answer with profound philosophical insight. It is an intellectual fortress. It is this exact balance that allows them to navigate the complexities of higher education, demanding careers and intricate personal relationships without ever losing their sense of self. They adapt to the frequency of the situation, switching between heart and mind so smoothly that their brilliance feels almost effortless to the observer. The fifth tactic is perhaps their most formidable defense mechanism. It is their value-driven clarity that effortlessly overrides the deafening noise of society. We live in an era where opinions are traded like currency, where the pressure to conform to the latest trend, the newest outrage, or the current definition of success is overwhelming. Many brilliant people lose themselves in this chaotic storm, changing their principles to fit in with the crowd. But this quiet intellect is anchored to the seabed by a massive, immovable core of personal values. When faced with a moral crossroads or a societal pressure, they do not look around to see what everyone else is doing. They look inward. They ask themselves one simple question: does this align with my truth? If the answer is no, they will not be moved, even if they must stand entirely alone. This unwavering dedication to their internal compass grants them an immense amount of mental energy. They do not waste time arguing in circles just to stroke their ego. They do not exhaust themselves chasing hollow victories or superficial status symbols. By focusing only on what genuinely matters to their soul, they maintain a clarity of thought that most people can only dream of. This integrity echoes the silent strength of tight-knit families who have weathered historical storms. Just as a family survives hardship by clinging to their shared love and core traditions, ignoring the chaos of the outside world, this individual survives the modern wilderness by trusting their inner voice. People are naturally drawn to this kind of authenticity. In a world full of shifting shadows, a person who knows exactly who they are and what they stand for becomes a beacon of light. They inspire fierce loyalty simply by refusing to compromise their soul. Finally, we arrive at the sixth tactic, which is steady, empathy-fueled leadership behind the scenes. When we picture a leader, we usually imagine someone standing on a stage, speaking loudly into a microphone, commanding the masses. But the purest form of leadership does not require a stage at all. This intellect leads from the shadows. They are the unseen conductors of the orchestra, making sure every instrument is in tune without ever demanding the spotlight. They do not seek authority for the sake of power, but they naturally step in when they see a system breaking or a group of people losing their way. Their leadership is a series of quiet, profoundly impactful moments. It is the private conversation in the hallway that completely changes a colleague's perspective. It is the gentle question asked at the dinner table that diffuses a boiling family argument. Because their leadership is entirely devoid of ego, it generates zero resistance. People do not feel managed, they feel mentored. They do not feel ordered, they feel empowered. This makes their influence infinitely more sustainable than the leadership of a tyrant or a loudmouth. When they guide a team, a project, or a family, things simply begin to run smoother. Conflicts evaporate, and a quiet harmony takes over. Most people will never fully realize how much heavy lifting this individual has done to maintain that peace, and that is exactly how they prefer it. They find their reward not in the applause, but in the beautiful outcome they have orchestrated. It is a brilliant, selfless strategy. You cannot overthrow a leader who does not sit on a throne. You cannot compete with an intelligence that is solely focused on elevating the people around it. This is the anatomy of a mind that quietly shapes the world. It is an intelligence layered with deep observation, rich empathy, creative logic, and an unshakable moral compass. If you have ever underestimated someone because they were quiet, because they did not rush to prove their worth, or because they listened more than they spoke, you may have been sitting across from one of the most powerful minds in existence. They do not fight on the battlefield of noise, because they know that true power resides in the silence between the words. If you possess this kind of mind, know that your quiet strength is the very architecture of hope in a chaotic world. You do not need to change your nature to make a profound impact. Your gentle resilience is a gift that echoes through generations. May you continue to trust your inner compass. May the deep grace and peace you bring to others flow back into your own life in abundance. Never doubt the value of your silent empathy, for it is the very force that heals the broken spaces of humanity. As you walk forward, let your intuition be your guide, and let your values be your unbreakable shield. You are a quiet blessing to a noisy world. Embrace your profound intelligence, protect your peace, and continue to build bridges of understanding wherever you go. The world deeply needs the beauty of your quiet mind. May peace, clarity, and gentle strength be with you always.